Greetings, and welcome to the Well-Read Monocle. Today we embark upon a journey across a desolate and dying world, tracing the steps of the last gunslinger. We are discussing Stephen King's The Gunslinger, the first volume in his magnum opus, the Dark Tower series. This narrative is not merely a western, nor is it strictly fantasy. It is a grim amalgamation of both, set in a universe that has, as the characters say, moved on. The story begins with one of the most famous opening lines in modern literature. The man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed. This singular sentence sets the stage for a tale of obsession, betrayal, and a quest for the nexus of all time and space. In this video, we shall provide a comprehensive summary of the events within the book, exploring the plot, the flashbacks to a lost kingdom, and the philosophical revelations that await at the end of the road. Let us begin. Part 1. The Desert and the Town of Tull. Our protagonist is Roland Deschain, the last of a knightly order known as gunslingers. He is pursuing a sorcerer known as the Man in Black across a vast, apologetic desert. Roland is exhausted and parched, possessing little more than his revolvers, made of sandalwood and steel, and a singular driving purpose: to catch the Man in Black and learn the location of the Dark Tower. Roland encounters a solitary dweller named Brown, who lives in a hut with a talking raven named Zoltan. Here, Roland recounts his recent violent past in the town of Tull. In the flashback, Roland arrives in Tull, a decaying settlement on the edge of the desert. The town is bleak, filled with despair and the smell of devil grass, a narcotic weed. Roland stays with a woman named Ali, the proprietor of a local bar. Through her, he learns of the Man in Black's passing. The sorcerer had stayed briefly, performed a dark miracle by resurrecting a man named Naught from the dead, and left a trap for Roland. The trap lies in the mind of Ali and the religious fervor of the town. The Man in Black left Ali with a trigger phrase, the number 19. If she speaks it to the resurrected Naught, she is told she will understand the mysteries of death. Driven mad by the temptation, she eventually speaks the word. The town, incited by a fanatical preacher named Sylvia Pittston, turns on Roland. The Man in Black has turned the entire populace into a mob of bloodthirsty zealots. Forced to choose between his life and the townspeople, Roland chooses survival. In a display of horrifying efficiency, he guns down every man, woman, and child in Tull, including Ali, whom he shoots to end her suffering. He leaves the town a graveyard, his ruthlessness established early on. Back in the present, Roland leaves Brown and continues into the desert. Part 2. The Way Station and the Boy. Roland eventually collapses from dehydration, but discovers an abandoned way station. Here, he finds a young boy named Jake Chambers. Jake is not from Roland's world. He is a boy from New York City in the 1970s. We learn that Jake died in his own world. He was pushed into traffic by a man who looked like a priest, the Man in Black, and was run over by a car. He awoke here, at the way station, with no memory of the transition. Roland hypnotizes the boy to uncover these memories. We see glimpses of a world filled with skyscrapers, subways, and television, concepts alien to the gunslinger. Roland begins to feel a paternal affection for Jake, yet he is plagued by a cold intuition. The boy is a trap, placed in his path by the Man in Black to hinder him or force a terrible choice. Despite this, they travel together. They leave the desert and move toward the mountains. During their journey, Roland recalls his own coming of age in the barony of Gilead. Part 3. The flashbacks to Gilead. Through Roland's memories, we see a younger, greener world before it moved on. We meet his teacher, Court, a scarred and brutal man tasked with turning boys into gunslingers. Roland forces his trial of manhood early, years before his peers. His motivation is the discovery of his mother's affair with the court sorcerer Martin, an alter ego of the Man in Black. To become a gunslinger and gain his guns, Roland must defeat Court in combat. He chooses a hawk named David as his weapon. In a bloody duel, Roland sacrifices the hawk to blind Court and win the fight. This flashback reinforces a central theme of Roland's existence. He is willing to sacrifice anything, even that which he loves, to achieve his goal. Part 4. The Oracle and the Roots of the Mountains. Back in the present, Roland and Jake reach the foothills. They encounter a circle of standing stones inhabited by a demonic oracle. The oracle attempts to seduce Jake, nearly driving the boy mad. Roland saves him but later enters the circle himself to demand a prophecy. The oracle tells Roland of the 3 companions he will eventually draw to his quest: the prisoner, the Lady of Shadows, and Death. However, the oracle also warns him that the boy, Jake, is the gate to the man in black. To catch his enemy, Roland must sacrifice the boy. The duo enters the dark roots of the mountains, following an ancient railway track through pitch-black tunnels. This journey takes days, perhaps weeks. They are attacked by slow mutants, glowing, de-evolved humans who dwell in the dark. Roland and Jake escape on a handcar, but the journey bonds them tightly. Roland loves the boy, yet the oracle's prophecy looms over them. Part 5. The Fall. They emerge from the tunnels to a precarious trestle bridge spanning a deep abyss. The man in black awaits them on the far side. As they cross the rotting structure, Jake stumbles. He hangs by his fingertips over the dark chasm, begging for help. The man in black mocks Roland, offering him a choice: save the boy and lose the trail of the tower forever, or let the boy fall and finally catch his quarry. Roland hesitates only a moment. His obsession with the Dark Tower overrides his humanity. He ignores Jake's plea. As Jake's grip fails, the boy looks at Roland and delivers a final, haunting line. "Go then. There are other worlds than these." Jake falls into the darkness. Roland, devastated but driven, crosses the bridge to confront the man in black. Part 6. The Palaver. Roland and the man in black, whose name is revealed as Walter, finally meet in a Golgotha, a place of skulls. They sit by a fire to hold a palaver, or a long discussion. Walter reads Roland's future using a deck of tarot cards. He confirms the oracle's prophecy regarding the 3 companions Roland must draw. He then shows Roland a vision of the universe to demonstrate the insignificance of his quest. Roland is shown the vastness of the cosmos, seeing worlds upon worlds, galaxies upon galaxies. Walter suggests that their entire universe might be nothing more than a single atom in a blade of purple grass in another, much larger universe. He posits that the Dark Tower is the nexus of all these realities, the pin that holds existence together. The man in black tells Roland he must go to the Western Sea to continue his journey. Walter then induces a deep sleep in the Gunslinger. When Roland awakes, he is alone. The campfire is cold, and the bones of the man in black lie beside it, wrapped in rotting rags. Roland discovers that 10 years have passed during his sleep. His hair has gone grey at the temples, his boots are cracked, and his joints are stiff. He stands, now older and utterly alone, having sacrificed his youth, his friends, and his surrogate son, for a quest that is only just beginning. He collects the jawbone of the man in black as a grisly talisman and turns his face west toward the sea. The Gunslinger is a tragedy of obsession. It establishes Roland not as a traditional hero, but as a man defined by a singular, destructive purpose. The world has moved on, and to save it, or perhaps simply to understand it, Roland has had to leave his own humanity behind. And that concludes our summary of the Gunslinger. If you enjoyed this journey to Midworld, do consider subscribing to the Well-Read Monocle for more literary explorations. Until next time, long days and pleasant nights.